going, YouTube? This is Joe Day with Mike's Upper Deck Retro, and it's a very special day today. It is Mail Day, but not just Mail Day. It is PSA Mail Day, and you can see we got the famous, the elusive PSA box. I just got this in today. I cracked it open and pulled the cards. This is a blind reveal, but I did pull the cards out because these are a pain in the ass to open up. So I did get the card out. I snuck it out, have it on the table. And you can see from the back, this is the final leg of our journey, our 2000 Bowman Chrome Tom Brady rookie card journey that we went on. Well, depending on when you watch this, we went on this journey starting in April. April 21st is when we bought this Tom Brady card. But it wasn't raw. It wasn't PSA. It was actually a BGS card that we cracked. We broke it out of its prison. If you haven't gone back and if you haven't watched the previous videos for this little 4-part series, go back and at least watch the cracking of this case. I'll tell you what, these are no joke. It was a very nervous 40-year-old man with towel clippers versus a very thick piece of plastic hiding a $4,000 card. So we bought this card on eBay. We did get it for $4,000. It was a BGS 9 mint. And you can see here the subgrade: centering 8.5, edges 9.5, corners 9.5, surface was a 9. Overall it was a 9. The original idea was to get this card and send it to PSA as a cross grade. And what that crossover grade, what that basically means is you take the card in the case, you send it off to PSA, they crack it, and then they regrade it. The more I looked at this particular card and how nice it looked, you know, not just in the pictures, but when I got it back, I thought this card had real serious PSA 10 potential. You know, the corners, the edges, and the surface were all great. The centering was the only question. When we turn over the card, you'll see the centering was an 8.5 here, but it to me, it was close enough to take the chance because of the value of what a PSA 10 Bowman Chrome Brady rookie is. So we did buy the card for, after tax, it was $4,240. The BGS 9s usually average around $3,900 before tax. So we paid a little bit more for this one, but just because it looked so much nicer than the other ones, in my opinion anyway. So we paid $4,240 with tax. Shipping was free. And we got it in, we ordered it on April 21st, and it got delivered to us on April 26th. So came home from work, cracked it out of this case, and put it in a penny sleeve and semi-rigid, and shipped it off to PSA the next day. The card was in my possession for less than 24 hours. Cost about $100 to ship it to PSA with $5,000 worth of insurance. Shipped it overnight. PSA charged the fee to grade. They're only accepting Super Express and walkthrough. You can do the crossovers in those, but I decided just to send it fresh. Because if it was a 10, I don't feel like they could have been objective. They weren't going to take a BGS 9 and mark it up to a PSA 10. So that's one of the major reasons I cracked it. The cost to grade it was at least $330. The reason I say at least is because, like I said, we're looking at this card blind. We didn't look at the grades when they were posted online. All I did was have a third party go in, check my credit card, and make sure PSA did charge me the $300. At least $300. I didn't want to know how much, because if they charged me $600, then I would, a little bit of a spoiler on the upcharge, it probably would have meant it was a 10. Like I said, I'm hoping for an upcharge. But the fear I have, the worst thing you can do, as an aside, if you have cards waiting at PSA, which if you're watching this video, you probably do, you know the horror stories of how long it's been taking PSA to get through cards. But the worst thing you can do when you have cards waiting at PSA is to look at reveal videos like this, because you'll see a card that you think looks beautiful and it comes back. The reveal grade is like a PSA 6. You're like, oh my God, how's that a 6? If that's a 6, how bad are my cards? The other fear that I've had was that the grade wouldn't meet min size requirements. And while that is rare, I saw too many bulk submissions where people were getting like 40 or 50 cards back because they didn't meet min size requirements. If you don't know what min size requirements are, basically, if a card was miscut by the company and it's smaller than the size that they're willing to grade, they will send it back to you and say it did not meet min size requirements. From my understanding, they won't charge you. And that's the reason I wanted someone to look at my credit card statement to make sure that this card did meet that min size requirement. I did get charged for it. Generally, it's just junk wax, the 90s stuff, late 80s, early 90s stuff that comes back. But I didn't want to take a chance, so I had someone take a look and see that it did, in fact, I did, in fact, get charged for this. Before we reveal the card, like I said, I ordered it from a seller on eBay on April 21st. It was delivered to me on April 26th. I cracked it and mailed it to PSA on April 27th. It was delivered to PSA on April 28th. PSA received it into their system May 1st, and grades were posted on May 5th. I just received the card today, which today's May 10th. So the turnaround for PSA is atrocious, except when you get into the higher level, the Super Express and the walkthrough. I ended up, by the time I sent it to PSA to the time I got it back, it was 13 total days. From the time that PSA received it into their system to the time they posted grades, it was only 4 days. So yeah, if you want to spend $300 to get a card graded, if you feel it's worth it, you're going to get it back in a pretty quick turnaround. This was even a quicker turnaround than the CTD on their website is, because it's only one card. I would suspect if I sent 5 or 6 cards, the Super Express, then I would probably be waiting a little bit longer. So we're gonna reveal the grade here, live for both you and me. Looking at the back, looks pretty nice. I did see one picture of the many that I took of this card before I sent it in. The one picture looked like the corner was a little dinged, and I'm like, oh, of course I sent it in. It has a ding corner. So let's see if it actually did have a ding corner. Nope, corner's perfect. I do like how they're putting sleeves on the Super Express and the walkthrough. At least I believe they are. This one came with a sleeve on it. The economy, I've noticed that they don't do that. Let me get something white here. There we go. You can see how nice those corners are. Surface looks really good. I thought there was a surface scratch right there. You can kind of see it there, but that's actually a piece of the picture. A piece of his shoulder pad string, or his elbow pad. This is one of my favorite cards. I talked about it in the first video. Why I'm a big mark for the Chrome cards, especially Topps Chrome. Unfortunately, Topps was too busy making NFL Europe cards in 2000 to have Tom Brady in their Topps Chrome. But don't worry, I'm sure all of you know the greats that came out of NFL Europe in 2000 that, you know, we didn't need the Tom Brady Topps Chrome rookie card. I can imagine how cool that card would have been, because that was a really cool looking set in 2000. I actually have a Plaxico Burress that's BGS grade. I think it's a BGS 9.5 too. But This is my favorite card of his, because not only as a collector or an investor, it's still attainable at a reasonable price, but it just looks cool. It's I think it's a nicer looking card than like the SP card, for example, which is worth much more. So you can see here what I was talking about with the centering. So the left to right centering is, let me try not to show my reflection. The left to right centering is pretty spot on, if you can see that here. It's yeah, there's a better look. You can see the left to right is pretty spot on. It's pretty close to 50-50. It's the top bottom. The top is a little thin, because since there's no bottom border, you want the top border to kind of equal the left to the right. This doesn't. It's a little bit thinner than that, but I will say that this is completely subjective. I've seen 10s with a thinner border. I've seen 10s with a border that's way too thick. I've seen 8s with what looks like perfect centering. It's just really, it's up to the, I always joke, if you get a good grader on a good day, you're going to get a 10 from this card. We'll see if I got a good grader on a good day or not. So without further ado, well, we're off to a good start. They got the card name right. Well, 2 grading companies told me that this is a 9. I should have listened to the first one. All right, PSA 9 it is. I'm not disappointed. I'm going to have to cancel the down payment on the lake house, but, I guess we'll survive. I expected it to get a 9. I originally bought it to just crossover grade it to a 9. So I'm not overly concerned or upset about it. Obviously a 10 would have been awesome, but they are hard to come by. The corners on this look beautiful. The surface, I remember when I had it out, looked beautiful, and it's still, it's hard to see through the case and the sleeve, but the surface was beautiful. The edges, same thing. Really the only thing that I can see is that top to bottom centering. That's what did me in. If that's a hair bigger up here, I think that's a 10. I will say I'm glad it's not an 8. I was concerned. I saw a picture and it looked like that corner was dinged, and maybe there's some flybys and fuzzies over on this edge. So I was worried that maybe all these little things would add up and it'd be an 8. But from the looks of it, this is still going to end up being a profitable card. The 9s go for anywhere between 55 to 6,000. There is a decent range. I have noticed that stuff that's the old slabs don't sell as well. And just to give you an idea, an 8 you can get for 3,200, probably a little even less than that now. When I did the averages, as I was waiting for this to come in, 8s were about 3,200, 9s were about 5,900, and 10s were about 18,000. So it could have been worse. It could have been way better, but it could have been worse. Absolutely. I'm into this card for about 4,600 or so, all in, with the card, the tax, the grading, the shipping, all of that stuff. I'm in for about 4,600, and the value of the card is about 5,500 to 6,000. So it's, hey, if I wanted to sell this, I could. The one drawback I will say about this card is that, or about any card really, is that if I put this on eBay and it sells for $6,000, they're going to take 13% of that right out of the gate. So you're looking at, I'm not a math guy, but you're looking at like $700. So if I sell this card for 5,300, let's just say there's a bad, it's a bad omen, and I sell it for, bad timing, I sell it for 5,300. I actually would just break even then on this card, because of the because of the fee that eBay would put on it. So with that said, I'm probably going to keep it. This might be the worst time to try and sell football cards. I think right before the season, these cards are going to go up again. And I really do believe the Buccaneers have a chance to, if not at least get back to the Super Bowl, potentially even win it again. I think the NFC has gotten a little bit weaker. So I'm probably going to hold on to this card. If someone is interested as you're watching this and it's still available, reach out to us, leave a comment. Or tweet at us. You can see in the back there, Mike's Upper Deck Retro at Mike's Upper Deck 1. Reach out to us, and if you wanted to talk about purchasing this card, I'd be interested in that. We can probably avoid the eBay fees and things. I could give you a little bit of a better deal on it. But if not, I'll end up holding it. Like I said, it's a beautiful card. I've grown to appreciate Tom Brady. He's won me a couple of fantasy football championships. I'm a huge Bruce Arians fan, so I was glad to see him help Bruce win one. So if this ends up in my PC, I wouldn't be upset about it, but I wouldn't mind, moving this and then maybe buying a PSA 8 for my PC. But yeah, that's it. That is our final part of this journey. And it's been fun. A friend of mine actually said, oh, if you get less than a 10, are you going to crack it open and send it back in and get that thrill back? I said, absolutely not. But if you want to pay for it and you want to buy it from me and do that, that's more than okay. I do believe, though, I'll leave it with this. I do believe, though, if I sent this card in 10 times, I think 4 times it comes back at 10. It just depends on who the grader is. So with that, remember, if you like our content, subscribe to the channel, like the videos, comment, find us on Twitter, Mike's Upper Deck Retro at Mike's Upper Deck 1. And I know we're going to be doing some giveaways. We already did a Kobe giveaway. I'm thinking about putting some Tom Brady cards, some second, third, fourth year Tom Brady cards up for a giveaway once we hit a certain threshold on Twitter. So look out for all that stuff. We like talking about old cards. We like talking about retro cards. So if you like listening to us talk about that kind of stuff, subscribe and follow us, and that would be awesome. All right, guys. Thanks a lot for watching, and we'll catch you next time.